on some hush puppy shoes. Let's play it one time. Woo!
We're going to go to Dan, who's going to take us back into the classic rock era to talk about a very short-lived quartet that came together with fantastic promise, but lasted for one album. Dan, tell us about it.
Blind Faith, you could reasonably say they were a supergroup that had a shooting star length. They were not the first supergroup. A lot of people thought Cream was the first supergroup, but with Blind Faith, they pulled members from Traffic, which was Steve Winwood, and 2/3 of Cream, drummer Ginger Baker, and of course, guitarist Eric Clapton. Cream had dissolved, and Steve Winwood had left Traffic, and so Clapton and Winwood were going to Clapton's house, and they were doing some rehearsing and jamming. And of course, before you know it, Ginger Baker comes along. The fourth element of Blind Faith was bassist Rick Gretsch, who was played bass for the group Family. And in fact, they were on tour, and he just, Clapton asked him, "Why don't you come join us?" And yeah, he just abandoned the tour midway through. So here they are, and there was a lot of buzz in the British press. And I think with a lot of the supergroups, they come together quickly, they record quickly, and then, things go sideways, either for professional reasons, musical reasons. In this case, it doesn't look like it was personal, like with a lot of breakups. They were just, did really a one-off. They formed in late 1968, and it was just termed Blind Faith. And some of the more notable songs on there are Can't Find My Way Home, Presence of the Lord, that was written by Clapton, and Do What You Like, that was a pretty much a drum solo by Ginger Baker. So they had only been together for a few months, and they thought, okay, let's play live. So their management and record label decided, let's play in Hyde Park. So there was a lot of anticipation, a lot of excitement, and there was, estimates of 100,000 people there. Well, it was recorded. And I don't know, I think the reviews were mixed, because I think fans, they wanted to hear, they weren't all that interested in the Blind Faith songs. They wanted to hear, something from Traffic, something from Cream. From there, they did a short tour of a couple of the Scandinavian countries. And then in 1969, that summer, they did a tour that was also featuring Delaney and Bonnie and Free. And that was the only tour. It was a short tour. Reviews on it were mostly positive, but again, they were forced to play their hits from Cream and Traffic. Their management, they wanted to catch the magic in the bottle. In other words, get as many sales and sell as many concert tickets as they could. And before too long, I think that they were just, it was a nice idea, but it flamed out pretty quickly. Clapton wanted to get away from his Cream style of playing, which were long, intense solos. And he was doing more, he played acoustic guitar in a couple of these tunes. And I think he just got bored very quickly. And, Steve Winwood, his, point of view was that they couldn't turn down the request for all their previous groups' hits, and after that it just didn't gel. So it was a great idea. And there was I think a couple top songs from their solo, their one album. And I think people have said the solo that Clapton took in Presence of the Lord was one of his more striking, distinctive solos. The British version of the Blind Faith album, it was deemed a little bit controversial. On the cover, it had I believe, 11 or 12-year-old girl topless. What the record label was thinking, I don't know. I don't know if it was passed by the group. Now, the American version was just the cover photo of them, just the four members of the group. When Crosby, Stills, and Nash they had just formed, briefly, they had considered asking Steve Winwood to join because they felt like Steve Stills needed another player to challenge him and to bring in a different sound. But the record label president, that they decided to go with Neil Young anyway. So that was it. Blind Faith, they were product of the late 60s British blues rock scene. A quick launch and an early flame out.
That album went to number one. I mean, it sold very well. It was certified gold pretty quickly, and it got good reviews at the time, right? So it's not like it was an artistic failure or anything like that. But the thing is, they just had problems on their tour. Is that what caused the problems? Yeah,
I failed to mention that they sold pretty well during that U.S. tour with Delaney and Bonnie. It's been written that they felt that Eric Clapton was getting a little bit more withdrawn into himself, and he was hanging out and spending a lot of time with Delaney and Bonnie. And then by the end of the tour, that was it. And then, of course, what happens later on is Clapton was a sideman for a later when Delaney and Bonnie were touring and headlining. So apparently, Clapton lost interest, and yeah, that was the demise. And I think the reaction that they got from the U.S. crowds to their songs.
It's a cry today. So you said, and I missed you then. Your playboy, put on some hush puppy shoes. Let's play one.